How did he even have the energy for that?
Dude, the
I truly
stage
don't
was
know.
up to like my neck. It was like a 5-foot stage, so I don't know how they did it. Kids were diving feet first off this 5-foot stage. Like you would watch someone dive and be like, knockout, 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 knockout.
Use EMG pickups because they help you get the heaviest tone possible. Head over to emgpickups.com and use my promo code HEAVY at checkout and get 15% off. And then once you write the heaviest song of all time, head over to distrokid.com/VIP/Garza and save 30% off your membership to get all your songs on all streaming platforms. And now to the heaviest podcast of all time.
No water, just
No
caffeine.
water.
We're doing the dehydration challenge.
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can just totally.
I want to feel bad.
I want to
Yeah.
feel really,
I wanna
really
feel
bad
bad
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you get older, you can't do that anymore.
We're gonna
Yeah.
prove them wrong.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I already feel the fatigue of playing shows.
I'm gonna do it while I can.
Like
Yeah.
more than I did as a younger person. Like, dude, I'm 26. We're all pretty much 26. Sal's 25.
No, I'm
But-
26.
Oh, 26. That's true. He just.
Yeah.
Mid-20s,
But
great.
yeah.
I
So
just
it's
turned
like
27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot.
I turned 27 this month. Yeah. But it's like you feel the fatigue now, way more than like at 20. Like I feel a radical difference at this point in my life.
We also do the don't eat till 4 o'clock challenge, where we do like the one fucked up meal a day, where it's just you just gorge at 4 o'clock.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, straight up.
That kind of
Accidental
works, though.
fasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unintentional, intentional fasting.
Yeah, but fasting's great for you.
Yeah. No, it's
Oh, yeah,
it goes
for sure.
It's the
right
only
to
thing
it.
keeping us alive.
No, it's I'm about to get geeky and lose a lot of watchers right now. But fasting increases growth hormone in your body, and that's like it's known for like the anti-aging thing. And when you get my age, you're like any little trick that you know or you could apply to your life, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Anything that is legitimately good for you.
How old
Totally.
are you? Can I ask?
37.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
You look amazing for 30.
It's fasting. Well, I appreciate it. It's
You're
fasting.
glowing.
Yeah. Fasting is the key.
It's fasting.
Fasting is the key.
Yeah.
But dude, straight up.
And a lot of gym. Oh, so I have 4 rules of life, and then we'll go into your story. I don't listen to singers. Okay.
Fair. Good answer.
I don't listen to bass players.
Also fair.
I don't listen to drummers.
Damn.
Yeah,
And I don't listen to guitar players that could play a lead.
So
And, like,
that's your life guide.
okay, so I'm telling you guys,
good.
if you follow these 4 rules of life, you will be happy.
You'll be good. You'll be good.
I like it.
So-
I like
so
it.
You'll be a happier person.
TJ,
No, I'm
you're the
kidding.
Bible.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
TJ, we gotta
Great for
follow
me.
you. Follow
No,
you.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
follow what TJ does.
I'm
No, I'm
gonna
kidding.
look down on you guys when everything's great for me.
Well, would you consider TJ? Would you consider yourself like a rhythm player?
Yeah, I would say we have some hybrid parts, and especially on the new record, I do some leads, but it's primarily Harold.
I would say TJ's like an innate rhythm player though, because like you know when you're jamming around and you're like with your friends and you're playing like a cover,
Sure.
and like everybody knows the lead guitar part. TJ
Yeah,
always
yeah.
knows the rhythm part. I could just play the leads to stuff, like we'll be
Yeah.
sound checking with a funny cover, and TJ will know the rhythm part. It's awesome.
I just like playing big power chords. Like I just like
Yeah.
it feels powerful. It feels good.
Power chords feel powerful. I never heard that. It's like duh.
It's the stuff you don't think about that is very apparent. You know?
It is,
It's
huh?
pretty crazy.
I heard a saying yesterday. Actually, this was last night. I slept for only 4 hours, but the left hand is what you know, and the right hand is who you are, and it fucking blew my mind. I was like,
Absolutely.
oh damn.
Never thought about that.
That's real shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right hand's instinct.
Your
That's how you
identity
want the
is in
song
your
to
right
sound.
hand.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Joe Barisi, really sick producer. He did like the last Tool, last Slipknot. Really, really a lot of wisdom in that man. When he said that, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I felt so cool, but then realized I gotta practice way more.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, I gotta fucking make sure it's on point. The right hand, it's so important.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta rip.
Yeah.
Got to be locked
Absolutely.
in.
Yeah. Well, today we have Koyo. Thank you for being here. I'm honored to have you here. And just met you guys.
Dude, appreciate
for
you having
having
us
us.
for real.
Yeah, thank you.
Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Thank you. I mean, you drove last night was San Diego, and we're technically on the way to LA.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
So,
right in between, conveniently enough.
So yeah, it's like right there. Okay, that's like, it's kind of the only possible way to do it because LA is
Yeah.
kind of out of the way. But if it's San Diego, LA,
It's perfect.
It works.
Yeah. It was the
works.
ultimate layup geographically for us.
Yeah. How was the show last night?
It was cool. It like this whole tour, like legitimately speaking, is the only tour I've ever done where every show has been dope.
Really?
Like there hasn't been a legitimately bad show on the tour. If you really want to like dice it up, I'm sure we can compare and contrast. And
Dice it up, come
there's
on.
obvious ones that were a little better than others, but like the bar is already so high. Like the worst shows on this tour, like they're better than like some of the best shows we've ever played. Like it's been the only tour ever where it's like there's not a single night where I was like, yo, that was legitimately bad. The vibe sucked. We didn't get a reaction, anything like that. This tour is every night's been like a blockbuster. It's crazy.
It's a great lineup too.
Yeah, it's dope. It's cool because it's a lineup of friends and like people we knew like going into this. So like the intention was for it to be like a fun thing that has like a connection of people that like already have some type of pre-established history. But it's just been great. It's been like for how well it's doing, like optically speaking, like these Belasco's a 1,500 cap venue. It's sold out. Like
Wow.
it's like for stuff like that, almost every single show is sold out on this tour. For it to be going like that and have it just be what it is, where it's just like low stress, hands off, like Pat from No Pressure's TMing, but it's like it's just like it's the most legitimate, illegitimate tour ever because it's just chill vibes. Like load in at 4 if you get there. If you're late, whatever. Send me guest list. We'll get everyone in. It's just so relaxed in every regard, and it's obviously still very successful on top of that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's cool. It's the deal. I know you've done so much touring in your life. It's like some touring functionally is very rigid and like a little stressful, and like you show up late, like you gotta get in early, whatever. Like this just hasn't been like that. It's just been enjoy dope shows, play to people who like you and your friends' bands, and like have a good time doing it. Which sometimes that's rare.
It is rare.
Yeah.
And like the fact that that the band has done that in like it's just 3 years or less.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
2020 was
2020?
the start.
August 2019.
Yeah, that's when we started
Technically,
writing shit.
Okay.
Yeah. That was like the first practice.
First release wasn't until March 2020 though.
Yeah.
We played our first show January of 2020, weirdly enough. We played with no music out just because I booked a show with our friend Scanlon, and at the time we'd been practicing in my garage a decent amount, just to the point where we were like, could play, and we recorded the EP. It just wasn't out yet. So we just said, fuck it, we'll play, and we did 4 songs and covered Take It Back Sunday, which we also did last night for the first time since.
Yeah.
How was it?
Convenient.
Electric.
It was awesome.
It felt
It was
amazing.
awesome.
We had Harry from No Pressure play drums.
We had Seb from Regulate sing the backup, so it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was really cool.
They both killed it.
It was pretty dope.
It was very spontaneous too. We learned it. We relearned it in the parking lot.
Yeah,
Like,
it was an on-the-fly decision.
yeah, it was dope.
It was probably that's I mean, Taking Back Sunday. That's probably like a band that you've like grown up listening to. Like, being from like Long Island, they're also
yeah.
from Long
Oh,
Island.
yeah,
That's a band
Yeah.
I was listening to when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Actually,
middle
6
school.
and 7
Six?
years
Yeah.
old.
6 years old.
The sister who's 9 years older than me, who like put me on to like all of the music that like Koyo is now trying to emulate. So I was listening to like all of those bands as young as for as long as I can remember. Like I was a really, really little kid, and I think that's a super important detail to the history of Koyo.
No,
is that
totally.
like me and everybody else too, but like I was putting these. I was like showing Joey and Spanos Taking Back Sunday when we were like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
We were really young.
It's literally like the reason I like alternative music. Like I only liked like classic rock before Harold showed me bands like that. Like we met like first day of 7th grade.
Yeah.
And like in the first week of 7th grade, he showed me Take It Back Sunday, among a bunch of other stuff at the time, like comparable to the time, but like Take It Back Sunday, brand new, like the Long Island bread and butter stuff, and like it's really why we like the music we like. It was the starting point of everything. It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of crazy how you always have like your foundation and like you always kind of go back to like your starting point. You know, like you have a starting point, and you just fucking you just take that and like you travel the world.
No, straight
Oh,
up.
yeah.
It's weird. Isn't that weird?
Totally,
Yeah.
because we all did like other bands and shit, and then like when we started Koyo, it was us cycling back to like, yo, what is our bread and butter?
We were like, let's play the music that we like all like have listened to since we were so young, and it just felt so natural, And not that the other stuff didn't. It's just
it's just a different deal.
I wasn't listening to Madball when I was like 11. But
7,
like,
right?
Yeah. I like we went back really, really far, I think, in terms of our influences, and that's awesome.
Some full circle stuff.
Yeah.
Totally.
Have you met those guys?
Taking Back Sunday?
Yeah.
Now they've met the drummer. I didn't meet him at the show.
We met Mark, yeah.
Yeah, he came to our show at LPR, and he came specifically just for our set. I think he just caught the last song because of traffic, and then we hung out outside and then watched this girl come out and start like hitting her boyfriend and yelling at him in the street. So it was a very cool way to meet him.
An insane dispute in the street for no reason.
What happened?
This girl, was she drunk or was he drunk? I don't know.
So
probably both, realistically.
Either way, I think she like caught him in the act of doing something, and she was just like kicking his ass in the street and yelling at him.
Meanwhile,
just
having
trying to, it's like meeting Mark, and it's like he's a very influential person in our lives, but just chatting with him while this dispute's happening down the road. It was awesome.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's gonna be a ingrained memory.
I'll remember it literally forever.
Forever. Oh my goodness. It's like it kind of makes it even better.
No, totally, dude.
There's got to be some lore to that.
Yeah. It's all lore.
It's like even sometimes when like you meet someone that you admire your whole life, there's always like a weird quirk in there. Either you were awkward or you said something dumb,
or maybe they suck too.
You never don't meet your heroes, but like that's not meeting him was awesome.
No, he was great. Sure. He was such a cool guy.
We've definitely had a couple other instances.
You're
not supposed to meet your heroes. But Mark was awesome.
Mark was dope.
Yeah,
and also like for instance, seeing this dispute in the street that offsets the the ice breaking in the way of like the awkwardness or like the kind of weariness to like getting to actually know somebody who like was influential in your life. It's like you see something like that happen. It's like the ice is broken. You just saw some insane shit. So
yeah, it was cool. We just bonded. We were like, yo, that was crazy.
Yeah, then just like that, you're friends.
Dang, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like beyond just like people like that in life, like influential people, like sometimes you just bond with people over seeing insane or being involved in insane shit, whatever it may be, like something fucked up happening, like you're with people you kind of know but not that well, like that's the difference between like sometimes becoming someone's good friend or not. Is like, did you go through this weird fucked up thing together? If you did, you're probably like tight after that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you guys are from Stony Brook, which is basically Long Island, correct?
Yeah, we're out there, so it's like an hour east of New York City, maybe even a little more. Train's like an hour and a half. Yeah.
So do you usually travel by train?
Varies. At this point in my life, I usually drive into the city for shows and stuff. But when I was younger, like when I first started going to anything, I would take the train pretty much. Just take Long Island Railroad, which is miserable.
Well, since there's couples fighting outside of shows, I mean, what's like? What's it like going to shows out there and like?
I mean, so it really varies by like literally speaking where you're seeing the show.
Yeah.
Because I think there's like in New York City itself, there's like multiple like sub scenes of like just at a blanket level like hardcore, and like there's different vibes that come with that. Long Island's the same deal. I think because it's all just so densely populated, like your experience vastly varies by what you're seeing. Like there's just so many people between the island and the city living there that like if you go to like a hardcore show that's more punk or like a hardcore show that's like heavier and harder, you'll have like there's crossover, you'll see some of the same people, but like sometimes it's like a vastly different experience with a vastly different set of people. It's interesting.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a trip. There's definitely like there's a lot of people that go to everything, like island, city, and everything in between. But like, I don't know. It's a lottery sometimes in terms of like the experience. Who's there? Like, is it a rougher vibe? Is it more chilled out? Whatever. Like it varies.
So it's the venue.
Venue and like bands playing.
Band.
I'd say.
Borough. It's the borough too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Depends on where you're at.
True.
It's usually cool.
So any band playing in the boroughs, that's guaranteed. A couple's gonna be fighting outside.
Well,
right?
I mean, it depends. If you're playing, if you're doing anything in Manhattan, you're bound to have a bad time. Most of the time. I mean,
that's fair.
But that's that's I know plenty of people who would disagree with that, but that's how I feel.
I think that's reasonable.
But
Really?
like nowadays, like there's a couple cool venues like in like North Brooklyn, like Monarch, and you got Meadows. I mean, they're literally next to each other, and those are usually cool shows. I mean, even if you went to a show at Gold Sounds, like it was a weird venue. Like regardless of how you felt about the venue, the shows themselves were cool.
200 degrees.
Yeah, it was hot. Like I mean, there's always been Vitus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like shows in Brooklyn are cool. The Rare show in Queens is great, but like the outer boroughs, the Bridge and Tunnel shows are cool, but the Manhattan shows are like,
I feel like also like just broadly speaking, like city shows, like you get a lot of like random people kind of wandering in, which is cool. But like you'll like go to a show at like Monarch, and there'll be 800 people there, and you can kind of suss out this like there's probably like 200 of you that like might just be here because like a friend told you to come here. That's not a bad thing. I'm not like hating on that. It's just like the vibe is different. Where like I feel like shows on Long Island, like there's new people coming in the door, but it's like a very like I guess like people attend shows there like so consistently and regularly. You kind of just know everyone that's there, even at like a bigger show. You can kind of like eyeball the room and be like, I know most of the people here.
Interesting.
I don't think that is as similar with the city.
Yeah,
of course.
I've lived in the city for like almost 10 years now. And
Really?
Yeah, and I would say like I know everybody who goes to shows on Long Island, and if I go to a show in the city, it's not like that at all. Like anywhere, even if it's like a 5-minute drive from my apartment, it's like I don't. These are some of the people who are in there. Like this is the only show they will ever go to. And like there's nothing wrong with that. I guess, but
it's just different.
Yeah, it's just a completely different vibe.
Well, because New York, I mean, the city, there's so many fucking people.
Yeah. And so many people who might discover even like a singular band through like a viral clip or a Spotify suggestion,
sure.
and like they don't know there's like a broader scene associated with a band or like regular shows happening. They might just go to that show at Monarch, see insert band here, and like that's their show for the year. In their mind, it's like that's the thing. I found a band I like. They played near me. I saw them, and
they
that's
played
it.
the song I heard in the TikTok video.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of that.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of hearing a new band, I mean, hearing you guys has been very refreshing. Joey, I was telling you about it. Like, obviously, I love slamming brutal death metal,
Of course.
but it's just to do research on like a kind of like a different style. That's been really, really cool, and your band taught me a lot. Like, I didn't know who Fleshwater was until this morning.
Oh hell yeah!
Wow.
Yep.
I was out there because I was looking up the tour and where we were going and where you were coming from. I was like, Fleshwater, okay, I'll check out this band, and I was like, oh my! I fell in love with that band instantly,
Dude, they're
Instantly.
amazing.
They're so good.
They're so
unbelievable.
good.
They're like masters of their craft.
Yeah, straight
They're
up.
all great musicians too, great people.
Yep.
They're incredible, and like, I mean, you might know that's like essentially like that band Vane reconfigured.
Yes.
It's the same lineup.
That's
just
what I heard.
Switched around with Marissa singing, and I remember because I was Vane's road dog for a long time. Like I toured with them from like 2000 like 2017. I would go on like a couple things, but like turn of 2018. I did every single tour on the Arizona tour cycle except for the Code Orange tour they did. So from January 2018 until COVID, I did everything. And I remember being on those tours, and they recorded the Fleshwater demo. If I'm correct, I believe it was at Matt's aunt's house in the basement. Rip Auntie Val, she was the greatest ever. But they recorded the demo in that basement instrumentally. And I remember so many nights on Vane tours where they would just like rip the demo with no vocals on it. And it's like, even then I was like, yeah, when this happens, it's going to be crazy. And right before COVID, we were in Europe, and Anthony was like, yo, like, I don't want to like, he was saying something like, yo, I don't want to like hold on to shit anymore. I just want to put shit out. Like, this year, like 2020, I got to get the Fleshwater demo out. And it happened. Obviously it took, and like the band has been crushing ever since they became an active band. Now they AB Vane and Fleshwater, so they'll just like, Vane literally just did a month and a half with City Morgue, which is like a rap tour.
I saw that.
Finished.
So dope.
They had 1 week home, and they've been on this tour. And then we have a week home, and they're going to Europe with us. So it's like they've literally been on tour for like 4 months straight
They're
now.
playing shows in between that too.
Yeah, that's right. They're playing with
really?
Balance and Composure.
Oh my
Pretty
goodness.
crazy. It's insane. But they're amazing. Like, Fleshwater's incredible. I love the music. It's not just like a homie thing. I just genuinely, if I didn't know any of them, that'd probably be one of my favorite current bands.
Yeah, that record was We're Not Here to Be Loved. I was like, that's just,
Dude.
it's sick.
It's amazing.
I saw Fenders and I got excited, and I hear choruses and heavy riffs. And all
It's
like, wow.
sick. Yo, all the stuff they do with like the octave pedals live and shit, like it's insane.
It's terrifying.
Dude, it's
so
fucking
cool.
crazy.
Dang, terrifying. When someone describes
yeah.
a band as terrifying, it's the best thing that someone can say about.
I'm not really like a guitar gear like
Neither
nerd.
am
I
I.
don't really understand it, and so but I'm like trying to learn more. And John, their guitar player, was explaining to me that I was like, oh, do you guys ever like change your pedal settings like in between songs? And he goes, oh, we change them during songs, like 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
And he'll like look at me while they're playing and do an insane like they're I can't even explain it. Like I don't know, because they use an octave pedal, and he's got a volume pedal that controls the level of the octave pedal, and or like it's a pitch. What is it?
Pitchfork?
Yeah.
Pitchfork.
It doesn't. None of it makes sense to me.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it shifts it down like a step, like a
But
whole
he
step or a half
changes
step or
how
whatever.
he changes how many steps he changes. Like,
crazy.
It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool. It's so. Cool.
I'm like, yeah, dude, I
such
got
a smart band.
I got a tuner
Yeah.
pedal, so what?
Yeah, I have a chorus
What's up?
pedal that I barely know how
Yeah.
to use. You know.
Yeah,
But-
I have a tuner.
yeah.
You know,
Literally.
What's good?
Dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's what,
Insane.
whatever the music calls for. You know,
Yeah.
For sure.
Sometimes it just goes straight, and that's it. Or sometimes you need some pitchforks and chorus pedals. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
sick.
they're really good about that too, in the way of like, obviously, like Matt, their drummer, he's like an insane drummer, like one of the best ever, in my opinion. And with Vane, he goes fucking ballistic, and he's like really styling and shit. With Fleshwater, he like pulls it back and just does like rock drumming.
Serves
But-
the song.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as
he knows
Harry
how
would say.
to adjust to the song.
He's so in the pocket, it's crazy.
And I think the band that
So
applies
clean.
to the broader band as well. Like they're just very good at like doing what serves the song, what serves the songwriting, rather than just like, you know, flair, flash, the whole nine. Like it's like
Yeah.
they just write the best songs they can.
You all will be surprised, like the amount of bands that don't play for the song.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's very
Oh, yeah.
easy. You know, it's a fucking weird little thing in your brain. It's like, oh, do more. Do
It's
more.
the ego that's like, I need to show
Ego.
everybody what I can
It's the
do.
ego.
It's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't need that, you know.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it cuts through. Like obviously, like it works for some, but I'm always like songwriting over tech, songwriting over flash. Like I just want to hear the dopest version of a song I can hear, whatever it may be.
Keep it simple. you
Yeah.
know?
You kind of have to choose. You know, do I want to look cool? Do I want to look cool with a sick riff?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, I think I made my choice in life. You know, isn't it kind of funny how like the trajectory of your band, it kind of looks like from being an outsider, it kind of looks like an accident, where it's like,
Yeah, no, it kind of was.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like you one, you're all talking how, and you're in like this weird text debate how, okay, like, and arguing how we're not gonna be like a full-time band. There's no way, we're only tour for fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you put out your first EP. What was it, like 2 days before we actually got locked down?
it
might have been the
started,
day of, I
It was
think.
Day of or something
streaming.
crazy.
What is it, March 13th?
So the
Well, no,
street
the
date
de-
on it is March 14th, but it was streaming a week before that through the Exclaim. Yeah, that magazine. That we debuted it through this Canadian magazine, Exclaim.
Really?
So people could stream it as early as March 7th. So March 7th through the 14th, me and Sal were on a tour together. But he was playing drums for Steve Space Cowboy at the time, and I played in another band called Typecast. We were on the
Yes.
tour together with Sanction. And that week, we put the songs out. People could hear it. People went to the Exclaim link and listened, and we're getting like blown up about how much people like it. We really weren't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
And then March 13th, we played Detroit. We get home March 14th. We're locked down. The universe is shut down, essentially.
The universe shut down.
And we just,
Yeah.
our phones are getting blown up by people now streaming it on Spotify, being like, yo, this is awesome. Like, basically,
Weird.
every person we ever, like, knew prior through music, all just essentially repped for it, which was surprising.
It was so weird. It was
Yeah.
it was like the weirdest day of my life. I'll never forget like being like, oh, people really like this. They
Yeah.
actually
Oh, yeah.
like this. You know, like this is
Oh, is that the Exclaim link? Yeah. Dude,
Oh, there it is.
There it
Whoa.
is.
yeah.
that was, should be March 7th on there, I think. Or
So
something
what?
like that.
What's his website?
Exclaim.ca. It
I
was
think
Brad
did
who
that.
sent
March
the
did.
yeah. Yeah. So
March 10th.
A friend of ours basically just helped like set up the exclusive debut of it through this before we streamed. And I literally remember being on that Sanction tour, like wherever the hell we stayed. I think we stayed in like Salt Lake or some shit. Like putting the songs on like DSPs for like DistroKid, like laying on the floor on my sleeping bag. Like it's a trip being here 3 years later, you know, because almost three years ago, essentially, all but to the day, I was laying on the floor uploading the Painting Words into Line songs on my old MacBook that got stolen at a later date in Oakland.
Oh no!
Like it's just like it's crazy. It's totally crazy.
And what? So it was a complete surprise.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Like the reaction, there was no like expecting. Hey, we're gonna put this out like a week early, and then it comes out on Spotify.
Yeah,
and,
it still is a surprise that people fuck with it as much as they do. It's awesome. It's so cool.
We just thought we'd be like a local band.
Yeah,
That was
And,
the
like,
intention.
We intended on just being. We started
opening.
Koyo at
Yeah.
the same time we started our like harder counterpart band, and it's the same lineup, just rearranged, and we put both demos out within like 2 months of each other, 3 mons of each other.
just
something like
about
that. But we
that.
wrote them at the same time, and the
Like
intention
the
was
same
like
week or whatever.
yeah, the intention was like, oh well, we're gonna play. We wanted to have ideally 3 or 4 bands with 5-song demos each that we could alternate, because Joey was booking shows on the island at the time, like pretty heavily, and it was like it kind of felt like we had the same bands over and over again. So we were like,
I was running into a lot of like I can't find a local for this show,
Yeah.
which is insane because Long Island always has a lot of local bands.
Yeah.
That's just how many shows like these bands are being utilized for.
it was just the perfect timing also, where it was like at that exact moment in Long Island hardcore history, there just didn't happen to be enough. So we were like, we're all home. We were all in touring bands. Like, we were all home at the same time, and we were like, let's just hang out in Joey's garage and write some songs, like and we just wrote anything we want. We wrote for other projecks that didn't get off the ground.
Yeah,
too.
there was gonna be a
Yeah, there was
Weezer
a few
band.
We
ideas.
called it Weezer Band. We
Yeah.
had the melodic hardcore, like the like yelling
the more-
melodic
Yeah,
hardcore.
The
band.
more
we
like
wanted to do like an
2000s.
American Nightmare band.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
we
Didn't
had
happen.
we had a ton of things, and it was all just us, and we would just alternate. And the only two that released demos were the harder band and Koyo, and we like didn't have the time even to do the other bands.
No.
People just liked Koyo, but like the intention was totally like, we just want to play local shows. We
Yeah.
just want to play shows that Joey books, shows that friends of ours book. We just want to be able to alternate what kind of sound is on a show,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the same people. And here we are,
Straight up. Even doing like Koyo as a more like melodic band, like Long Island's always been a place where it's very normal for like hardcore bands to have like more melodic emo or like pop punk flair to it. Like on Long Island, like that's the bread and butter. Like started with Sound Majority, got it with the Movie Life, Crime and Stereo. Like it's always been a part of the identity of it. But at the time, there weren't really a lot of other bands doing that. There was a band called Victory Garden, a band called Somerset Thrower, and those were they were the only melodic bands at the time. So even doing Koyo was like, okay, everything is hard and heavy right now. Let's just contrast that,
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it fits there, like it makes sense where we're from. But even then it's like so essential to Long Island's identity, and there still wasn't very much of it at the time. Now it's kind of happening a little more, like bands like Standstill, Private Mind, like there's a couple more High Reach, like there's more melodic bands happening now than there were. But it's pretty crazy in looking back on not that long ago, but 3 years later, it's pretty nuts.
Oh, 3 years fly by. In this, in this
Dude,
crazy,
it's
crazy
blown
journey in
by.
life.
It's crazy.
Yeah, especially for like you guys, 3 years. I mean, to see what like where the band was, when the universe shut down to like now.
Yeah.
it's a crazy journey,
Dude, like
know?
last
like night
year,
and day.
Yeah.
we toured nonstop and recorded our LP. And before this tour, we had 2 months off where the only Koyo related things we did were shoot a music video and play the Sound Majority reunion. And that is the most time Koyo has had off tour since shows came back. From fall of 2021, there has not been. I'm gonna loop doing the record into this because otherwise it would contradict what I'm saying. But like we committed like over a month of our lives to like living at this barn to record the record. So I'm gonna count.
Barn?
Yeah, we lived at a barn in New Jersey. So I'm gonna basically count that as like proxy tour.
Let's hear it.
So like
Please.
up to 2022, we never had more than one single month off at a time. Like it was just tour for a month, get home for about 2 weeks, do another week or do another month. Like there was never a time where we weren't booked, which is amazing. Like great situation for us. But it's just now like you said, like 3 years flies by in this scenario. It's like looking back, it's like it's really been nonstop. We're about to have a couple months off, like this coming into the fall, like with the record rolling out, like after we get back from Europe and that week we're doing with Bayside, like we probably have nothing to our record release shows, and that will legitimately be the most concurrent time off in 2 years, like since we had the chance to go ahead. But that's how we wanted to run it. Like we wanted to fucking seize the moment. Like in our minds, it was like if anyone cares enough for us to tour or like wants to see our band in a place, it's like what better time than now? Like we just
one day they won't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we might as well like take advantage of it. We're all really like at the end of the day, we're all super grateful that anyone gives a shit at all. So like Joey's saying, we just want to take that moment and just run with it. Why not?
That and like hardcore's so hot and cold. Like one thing will be cool for a while, and then the next moment it's just over.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that with like the hardcore scene because it's because all I know is like like the metal kind of side. But I was like, wow, how is it for like hardcore? Like, is it kind of the same thing? Like a new band comes in, and then
it'll change the game. And like even comparably, like I think the same thing to a degree happens in metal right now, where you have like bands like 200 Stab Wound, Sanguine Sugar Bog, like Frozen Soul that all kind of came in. Yeah, and Vomit Forth, like all these like harder like death metal bands that came in and were like, yo, this is the meta right now. This is what's happening. Wow. The same shit happens in hardcore in the way of like, like, right. I mean, I feel like things have been like on the heavier and harder side for a minute, broadly speaking, but like a band or a couple bands will come in and that will be like the identity of a couple years. And then something that hard contrasts that will come out and it usually just flips the script. You'll go from melodic to heavy to youth crew. Like it just varies by like, what people are attached to at the time and frankly how bored people are of what's currently happening.
I think that's one of the cool things about hardcore right now is like in our lifetimes in hardcore, we've seen that happen, and it's usually can be like strapped to like individual bands or types of bands, like you can identify periods in time which, this was so-and-so's year, X, Y, and Z, and like with right now it's like it feels like it's so many bands. Like hardcore is in a really, really special place where like you can have a festival with like just friends of ours bands like and like shit like that, and then thousands of people will go, and it's so cool.
I mean, dude, LDB this year, our day was literally like us and No Pressure played, Vomit Forth also played. Who else was on our day? It was just a very like
very just mixed bills.
Yeah.
Especially like
it was a day of like
like mixed bills are just huge.
All flavors of hardcore and metal and punk like all existed on that one day. If you like really break it down, like it's like it was a shuffle of a day, and there were 2,000 something people there, all going nuts for every band. Yeah, it's crazy.
How do you even have the energy for that?
Because I don't, dude. The stage was up to like my neck. It was like a 5-foot stage, so I don't know how they did it. Kids were diving feet first off this 5-foot stage. Like you would watch someone dive and be like, knockout, knockout. Like it's just from people landing on people. It's insane.
And the energy didn't die all day. Like it didn't matter.
Dude, it was lit the entire day.
It was so cool.
It was the monster tent, unlimited monster supply. There was one.
That'll do it. That'll definitely do it.
You got to have coffee there in a monster tent, and hardcore will thrive.
Oh yeah,
Yo, caffeine goes a long way. I didn't drink.
Oh, dude, fucking that's a lifeline.
Dude, I literally didn't drink coffee until this is Hardcore Fest 2014. That was the first time I tried coffee and was like, I like this.
Well, what's your first coffee? Free.
A cold brew at some. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember the dude had that brand new shirt. Had the Mike's for Singing Not Swinging shirt.
Where?
At this Hardcore 2014. You know how they had that cold brew little tent? That was my first coffee because I was exhausted like from doing 2 days of the fest. And our friend Cheyenne, who we saw yesterday, was like a childhood friend. She was there with us. And I remember her just like breaking my balls, being like, dude, just drink a fucking coffee. Like,
I do remember
you'll feel better.
Now. Yeah.
And I drank a coffee. It was the sweetest coffee ever. Like, tons of sugar, tons of milk, like disgusting. Like I only drink black coffee now.
Same.
But I drank like 3 or 4 of them, and I was like, Wow. It's crazy. And it probably fucked up my life since.
And yeah, we were young.
Yeah,
So
I was fresh 18. I
then,
just turned 18.
We're tired now, you know. Like back then, we were like, "Oh man, I'm tired. I've spent 2 days stage diving." Like, now it's like I spent 5 seconds like playing a set, and I'm like, I gotta fucking.
Looking back, I don't know
slow.
how we did like 4 days of a fest and fit 17 people into like an Airbnb.
Worth it.
Where there was like
It was
one
worth it
shower
every time.
No, I look
Like-
back on it and I'm like, those are some of the fondest memories I have. But in our 20s now, I'm just like, I could never.
And I put huge respect on
Never
the
do it
kids
again.
who can still do it, you know?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like,
They're awesome.
I could not, at my old age,
Dude,
you know, I could
it's
not
pain.
do
Our
this
old
shit.
age of 26 and
26,
27.
yeah.
Yeah.
26 feels a lot creakier than perhaps people who don't play music's 26.
Well, it seems like being from the West Coast rival. It seems like
As long as you're on a coast, that's all I care about.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, facts.
Straight up.
If you're from like let's say obviously Long Island, New York, or in the city, like you're way more active because you're either walking somewhere, you don't want
Yeah.
to drive, so you're going in the subway, or just it seems like you're just naturally more active. So it kind of hit me right now. Maybe like naturally you're going to get tired when you're younger.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Does
a
that make
competitive
sense?
place to be from. Anything
Yeah.
you do is always going to be, you know, there's always, I guess, competition. So you kind of do work yourself, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
If you're
It's
fucking playing chess, you know, you're still going to try really hard.
No, totally. Dude,
totally.
even like being from the suburbs, it's like, it's a suburb. Like, that's where people go to chill and relax. But just like the nature of New York, or really the Northeast, is like, it's just active. It's an active place. Like, it's not a slow lifestyle.
What makes it so special, though?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
exactly.
cool.
You got 2 seconds to order your food when you walk in anywhere. Don't look at the menu. Say what you want, and that's it. Or else they'll be
prepared.
mean to you. Like that's the vibe of everything. It's like it's just a fast pace of life. I'm sure I live in the suburbs, but like the suburbs of like somewhere in the middle of the country, definitely a slower lifestyle. You know, our houses
Way
may look
slower.
the same, but the culture is not.
Substantially.
Long Island would be a city if you placed it anywhere else in the country. If you took Nassau and Suffolk counties, like population-wise and like how many businesses there are and like what it looks like if you took either of those counties, dropped them anywhere else in the country, they'd be like, oh, it's a city.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think the town of Smithtown has like a population that should, like on paper, make them a metropolis. Like that.
That's
Or so I've
insane.
read. It's pretty fucking crazy.
I gotta
to-
see the numbers on that.
Yeah.
I gotta-
It is a dense population.
Yeah.
That one
Smithtown.
plaza that has Alpine and Uncle Giuseppe's in it. You go in.
Oh, it's the greatest place of all time.
That plaza is it's pretty booked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That is true. There are a lot of people there.
Where's this?
It's in a specific shopping center, which is, you know, all over Long Island. But this one's got Uncle Giuseppe's and Alpine Bakery,
Yeah.
which is goated.
And the
Both
hot
of
pot
What more do
spot.
you need?
And the hot pot spot,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, Uncle Giuseppe's is like a Long Island only Italian grocery store. That is so good.
There's a couple of
It's
them. They're
unbelievable.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
The bakery-
Everything they do is great. Spanos was the pasta guy at one of them for a long time.
Yeah, that was his first job.
It was awesome.
First
Yeah.
job?
$7 an hour.
Sick. What?
Also, the guy comes out, I think, like, on
He
Sundays and he'll
sings
sing
on the weekend.
Yeah,
he
he
walks
holds a
around the
microphone.
aisles
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
sings to you. It's awesome.
It's
I used to go
amazing.
with my mom all the time. She would on a weekend, dude. He goes up to her, he grabs her, he starts singing to her. Ah, fucking, it's beautiful. It's like
It's
you're at
crazy.
a wedding. You know?
It's amazing. It's
Uncle
better
G.
than
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Live entertainment.
There's also a Greek spot in that plaza called Mykonos.
Oh, that place is good.
Really good octopus. Just saying.
I've only had gyros there. I've never.
That's
had
gonna get quoted.
crazy.
Really good.
That's
We're
clip
a
for
band
sure.
who really likes food. Really.
Can you tell?
Yeah, we're big boys.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
big boys.
I
But-
bring the average down by like 60 pounds probably.
Yeah, but Koyo's a 2X shirt wearing band.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Like, that's.
I'll
just
get
how
there
it goes.
eventually, maybe. We'll see.
I'll get you there. Don't worry about it. I'll get you there.
I could lose 50 pounds. I think I'm just wearing 2Xs forever at this point. 2Xs are just the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd rather fill it out than not.
of course. Yeah, you always wear a shirt bigger, so like you could kind of hide.
Yeah. If you're skinny in a 2X, like pretty dope. If you're strong or bigger in a 2X,
Yeah.
still dope.
Still dope. You're always hiding the night before.
Worst thing I ever did was buy large shirts.
Dude, one of the
Biggest
funniest
mistake ever.
One of the funniest comments that has ever been left about me was on that
know the
Instagram
one.
post. That was like, it was a Koyo Instagram post that was like, some dude commented like, "Does the guy in the middle know he could buy clothes that fit him?"
Oh my!
I thought it was so funny.
Oh yeah, the Carhartt jacket.
Yeah, I was just wearing a Carhartt jacket. And this dude, it's not on the Instagram anymore, I don't think, but it was. I thought it was funny.
I scrubbed the page.
I thought it was funny.
I'll do like every release. I'll just be like, we got to reset. I posted a million things and just pull it all back. We're in the current reset right now. The post LP single one reset.
Dude, sick. Hey Sal, I've been watching videos of you play drums. Like I was watching
Here we
a lot of the Hey 5-6 stuff, and what are your influences for playing drums? Because you have a certain like your swagger is and your timing is just I haven't seen anything like it.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that, man. It's
cool.
I definitely come from a more metal centric style.
Really?
Yeah, that's why like Koyo is interesting because we what we play is what we play, but like we pick from so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all fuck with everything. But I would be the metalcore guy of the band. But
nice.
I'm rocking.
I mean, his favorite band's Misery Signals.
Yeah.
Like for reference.
Yeah.
That's Seven Angels.
What they from again?
Their Misery Signals, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
They are Milwaukee, huh?
I know some of them are from Canada, but they claim Milwaukee. Yeah.
Oh shit! Misery Signals, Angel. Oh wow.
Yeah. Year, Summer, Ended in June. One of the greatest tracks ever.
Band is dope.
Oh no,
They're awesome.
the set where we were doing the record and we couldn't go.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Dude, it's traumatic. We just started the record, and at that point, this hardcore was happening at the same time. It was like the pre-pro week. I went for the Hatebreed day and caught that, but the Sunday had Misery Signals and Thursday, and we wanted to go,
Dang.
but like Saturday, I was able to slip out okay and go see the fest. Friday, Hangman Blade, we had to be there.
Yeah.
Sunday, we were finally in the thick of making the record, and it was like, damn, we can't leave.
Dude, I had to miss the Hatebreed. So I went on Friday. I was in a wheelchair, so I played with my other band, Hangman, on crutches, and I had to miss the Hatebreed day, and it was one of those like I put my phone like under the couch.
Yeah, I don't want to look at videos
I want to do
of
something
Hatebreed
else.
playing.
Yeah,
And they played like a killer
they
set
played
list
an
too.
amazing
It was
set,
awesome.
and I wanted to be there so bad, but me and TJ were stuck to see.
Yeah, I was also sick at the time too.
yeah.
So I was just I'm kicking myself in the ass for sure.
I think being able to like us liking so much, circle back to the drum comment, it's like I like to pull from like all those things that I love growing up, like the Take Mac Sundays, a Thursday growing up, and then finding out like heavier music, metal, listening to Misery Signals, stuff like that. Like I like that I can just take that and throw it into Koyo if it serves the song, or like especially with this LP, like I challenged myself to pull back from that swagger, but like still do a Sal thing, or like
make it count.
Wow, make it count,
Yeah.
Because I feel like Koyo, like with all the other bands I'm in, like me and TJ play another band called Reign of Salvation. It's a metallic hardcore band, and like that band I could really like let loose and do my thing. Whereas Koyo, like more like in a box, but like I can make it my box without crossing that line.
That's a great way to put it. Holy moly!
Yeah.
And I think through tracking drums for this LP, I think I was able to really like accomplish that and do a lot of things that I was impressed by, that I thought I couldn't do, that wouldn't take away from what everybody else is doing also as well.
Yeah.
So it was very cool. But I definitely sometimes miss being able to do the other bands because of how busy we are. Because sometimes I just want to let loose,
Yeah,
Sure.
So,
Let
some,
loose is always
some
fun.
We all get
bands-
the itch.
We all get the itch to
some
like,
bands
yeah,
fall for it.
yeah,
course.
definitely, yeah.
We all get the itch to go back to playing with our other bands or like starting new bands.
Like
when
play
we-
some breakdowns.
When we
Yeah, play some breakdowns. Yeah.
It's killing me.
TJ and I remember we felt so like amped up. We watched Joey sings in another band now called Blood Runs Cold, and it's awesome.
Oh god, it's so
brutal.
awesome.
It's really really
Some
good
like
band.
mosh metal shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Marshmallow?
Yo,
Holy
it's
fuck.
insane. It's really good, and they're such a good band. And TJ and I drove to the first show. And we walked out after their set, and we were both like, "Dude, what are we doing, man?
We gotta play
have
hardcore
to
music.
do this again." Like,
I'm fucking sick of this emo shit. I
Yeah.
gotta play. I gotta play hardcore again.
like anytime, like I think Hangman's the only one of our other bands that's still
Yeah.
active.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, Rain hasn't
Yeah.
played a show in like over a year. Me and him had always talked about like doing an LP.
Typecast
And
hasn't played in a while.
Who knows if that'll ever
Yeah,
happen?
who knows?
Who knows?
Like,
You know?
I play in another band with the singer of Pain of Truth, who's like another huge hardcore band. And the two of us play guitar in Hangman, which is like, it just sounds like Madball, Neglect, like Biohazard. It's like,
Nice.
it's New York hardcore worship. It's like our favorite stuff, you know? And like, we're still active and we're still doing stuff. And anytime we have, but like, obviously not as hard because we're both in touring bands that are like doing stuff. But anytime we have the opportunity to do it, we're like, yes, let's go. Let's do it. It's tough to get together and write still for stuff like that. But like, anytime we have the opportunity to play a show, we want to do it so bad. Yeah, Hangman's.
The recent Hangman sets have been sick too.
Yeah,
Like,
they've been awesome.
like Michael
This is the, wait, I
Poppin'
think this is the set where I'm on crutches.
Oh, is
Like,
that the-
Was this
the-
hardcore?
yeah, when it pans over to, I'm on the opposite side of the stage. I'm leaning on my crutches. Really funny. I kept like slipping.
the deluxe crutches.
Yeah, the
via
ones
Jake
that
Round.
Jake Round from Pure Noise got me. Shout out Jake, fucking legend. Ron holding it down on drums.
Yeah.
Such a madman.
So
Dude.
why are you on crunches?
Yeah, there I am right there.
There you
So
are.
so when we
You got the boot on, yeah.
When on our second or third full U.S. tour, we toured with Knocked Loose. And when we were in San Diego, we played Soma, where we played last night. It was my first time back.
Just in the big room.
Yeah, we played the
So-
big room at Soma, and I was like feeling really amped up. And it was a huge room at the time. It was the biggest crowd we had played to. It was like almost 3,000 people, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna jump around like a maniac during this set. And during the second song of the set, I'd throw a huge jump, and I'd cover some ground on the stage. And I just misjudged it, and I rolled my ankle. And I cannot confirm or deny this, but
Yeah, we don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure because for whatever reason, and I've requested somebody to send me videos of this set and this song, and for whatever reason, this part of the set does not exist on anybody's phone or anybody's camera, but. I'm pretty sure Joey like hit my. It totally was not his fault.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
we collided. It was a freak accident. Stepped on my ankle when it was rolled.
I basically landed allegedly, because I don't even remember this
Yeah.
happening. Like, I don't remember landing on him or
Yeah.
anything, but allegedly, like, he's rolling it at an angle, I land on the angle.
Yeah,
Like, with 2 feet.
Because I remember rolling it and then just feeling this unbelievable like pressure on my ankle, and just it was like I was in a car accident. Like I just it was just adrenaline, like ears ringing. I couldn't hear the music. And it turns out I tore every ligament in my ankle. I broke my foot in a couple places. I tore apart the cartilage. And one of the tendons was damaged, but one of them was completely fine. But it completely destroyed my ankle. Like, it was really, really bad. And I tried to, like, when the adrenaline was, like, kicking in, I tried to, like, stand back up. And, like, I fell kind of, but I caught myself.
Yeah.
Tried to stand back up. And I could not put any strength on that foot. So I was like, oh, shit, something's really, really wrong.
I had zero idea this happened.
You muscled through everything.
I jumped to
I have zero idea what happened.
Dude,
Joey, I know
I was laying on the couch, like, after the set, like, just soaked in sweat, like, exhausted. He came up there, like,
Spanos had to carry me. It was bad.
Billy and Spanos carried you in, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah, but
He must be really tired.
I
He had an
jumped,
exhausting set.
I jumped to I hopped on my right foot to the front of the stage, and like I used my left foot to like hit my pedals, but I propped it up on the monitor that was in front of me, and like I just felt my foot dangling, and I didn't really feel the pain yet, but like I knew my foot was like not working anymore. And I tried to move it, and I couldn't move it at all. So I was just using, like, I was still able to. I got through the whole set, I, like, sang and played, like.
Yeah.
And then when but I felt my foot like blowing up under my shoe, and I, thanks to the help of a few very good friends, Jared, Billy, Jenna. I was convinced to, and Spanos for getting me the brace and the medicine. I was convinced to go to the hospital, and I
Gotta go.
I had to go. I didn't listen to their advice. I toured on it for a week.
Yeah, you played a couple more shows.
I didn't do anything to manage it, like, at all. I was really, really stupid. I paid the price. I had to fly home. And I had to have massive surgery and relearn how to walk. And yeah, I was in a wheelchair for like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. I was in a wheelchair for a long time. I'm super grateful like it wasn't longer and that I was able to do it at all. Like I wasn't supposed to start walking until like the spring of this year. It was supposed to be like almost a full year before I was like comfortable on my feet again. And I started we did a full US in September that I started with a cane.
Yeah.
And I used like the physical therapy practices I had learned, and I was walking on both my own 2 feet by the end of that tour. Yeah. So I was rehabbing.
You started PT while we were literally
while
we started the record.
When we started recording the LP, I was unable to walk. I was like knee scooter, like couldn't do anything, like and by the time we finished the record, it was 6 weeks on the farm. I walked out. I had crutches, a cane, and a knee scooter that I loaded into my car. And I was able to carry them all. But I mean, like, I was still kind of fucked up. Like, on
insane.
Some days I could walk, some days I could not. It's still like that. Like,
I remember getting the camcorder and doing like your first steps.
Yeah.
It's like baby's first steps.
TJ
only your traumatic accident first steps.
TJ filmed my first steps after the accident. Yeah, it was that was April 22nd of 2022, and it's June 3rd. I still June 4th, maybe? I don't know.
Just about.
Yeah.
But, a year and change at this point.
But yeah, I'm super grateful to be here and walking around and okay. You know,
You're throwing some jumps. We're throwing, you know,
I throw jumps.
We're throwing some simultaneous jumps. It's awesome.
My what's it called? So that's us playing after. This is. Can you scroll down so I can see what song this is? I think it's Heaven.
So this is after.
This is after. I'm on the right side in this video.
All of your shit is destroyed right now.
I'm mangled right now.
Yeah, you're fucked up.
I am just standing there trying to act normal, but
seeing this is crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wish I could see footage of the jump, dude. Like,
Also, like, apparently he was like cursing up a storm, freaking out, motherfucking the whole nine.
Fuck Joey.
Again, had no idea.
Me?
Yeah.
When
it first happened, like Billy was like, yeah, Harold was like,
oh no,
freaking out. Like
I looked over to Billy. I looked over to Billy and I go, I broke my leg, and he just was smiling at me because he didn't know what I was saying, and I was like laughing because I was still like high off the adrenaline. But you could see Billy to the like just bobbing his head over there.
Oh yeah.
I looked at him periodically throughout the set, and I was like, I broke my leg, and the sound person comes up to me at the end of the set and goes, like immediately when we stopped playing, goes, did you break your leg during the set? And I go, I don't know, I think so. And they were like, I saw you break your leg. I saw your leg break. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Hospital time.
I was like, oh, green room time. Like, I'll have a Diet Coke. It'll go away.
I mean, I
have a Diet Coke and I'll go away.
Yeah. You were
Diet
like,
Coke
you looked
problem.
normal
My
the
goodness.
entire set, and then immediately after everything cut, you just started hobbling.
Yeah, I did.
started hopping.
I couldn't
And
walk.
I was like, bro.
The adrenaline probably wore off,
Oh yeah,
too.
the adrenaline wore
yeah,
off for sure.
It was a very, very fun set.
That's
I'll
probably
say
so
that.
painful.
Memorable.
Yeah.
Very
I'm never
memorable.
gonna forget
Very
that.
memorable.
That's for sure.
Man, once it
Joey will never forget.
Yeah, yeah,
You'll make
yeah.
sure Joey never forgets.
I'll never remember.
Come on, yeah.
That's the real problem.
Joe's gonna be like, what happened?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a great thing, Joey. Like if
I would call it a great thing.
if something happened, I'm like, I didn't even remember that. I don't know.
No idea.
What are you talking about?
What?
Joey's
What
like,
happened?
what did I do to you? Wait, I did that?
Joey's like, yeah, dude, after the Soma show, my foot hurt so bad.
Yeah.
I like
Master
stepped on
gaslighter.
something funny.
That's a great
What
idea.
is that? Stretching.
Gaslighting 101.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do that to one of my band members. Just like slap him or
As a
something.
little-
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Dude, no idea.
I was in the moment.
Just as a little prank. I'm going to give you a little slap as a prank.
As long
Oh my
as you
goodness.
make them feel crazy, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Oh my goodness,
Like,
dude.
did you drink some water today? Are you sure about that?
So just curious. This guy, I really want to get your story out there at some point. I mean, so you put out the EP. Universe shuts down. At what point? Is there some kind of discussion what to do? Because what happened? Obviously, we talked earlier. It was like an accident that worked out for your band very well. But was there like a discussion? Okay, people are talking about it. They're loving it. What should we do next? Like, how did
There was an argument.
The first ever argument. Yeah, I think
Yes.
I think there was an offer put on the table, and I think Joey was the only advocate for us doing touring, just because I was working a full-time job at the time. I think other people were doing stuff. We all had other bands. And Joey's like, I think we should do this. And there was pretty much, backlash over, no, like that's not like what we intended this to be. But, we eventually came around to it.
At the time, it was like no touring unless it's like goated, undeniable, like I need to use PTO for this shit. Like at the time, if for some reason, basically any of the touring we've done now came knocking, that's what it would need to be.
Yeah, I got like 2 weeks and it didn't last very long.
Yeah, we got that was bad. We were fighting about that. We got offered a tour and we were just like, should we? No, we're not doing it. Yeah, but we can't. But no, why not? Let's do it. Come on. It was bad.
It was seconds before COVID. Like I think we were in Minneapolis or something.
Yeah.
But I think we came around on the issue more towards when we put out or like leading up to Drives Out East, like, which I think is like that was the second EP and that's what really elevated things a lot. Like that song "Riches," which is our most popular song to date, that's on Drives.
Yeah.
And I think in the months leading up, we were in the thick of COVID. We were practicing a lot, but everything's still locked down. I want to say this is like probably like late 2020. We're pretty much open to the idea of like, we think there's some type of light at the end of the tunnel. Obviously, they're working on a vaccine, whatever. Like, at some point, things will open back up and shows will probably happen again. If that happens, and if this next thing takes a little bit, if people want to see us, we'll go. So we put out Drives with the exception of the idea, or accepting the idea that we would tour if people liked it, and people liked it more than we foresaw. So like touring to follow it was kind of a given. But our tune changed before it came out. It was like Painting comes out, a couple months practicing and writing, and sometime in that window, we're like, okay, like if this works, we'll see it through a little bit, and it did, But we did all. I think COVID also like. People have talked about it to death, not to drive the COVID tip too much, but like, everyone went from like living their lives in whatever ways to having nothing for a second, and I think that shell shock just kind of like snapped us out of like whatever apprehension we had towards touring. It's like, like at that point in time we were 23, pretty young, like too young to go, no, I don't want to tour if people like your band, Definitely too young to make that call.
It's such a unique position to be in. You can't really ask people for advice unless they've lived it.
Yeah, dude. It was weird and indeed unique, and also like so much of everything is like muddied by perspective. Because like I said what I just said, like now about to turn 27, looking back on that time period in our lives, but like at 23 we were like, we're too old to be doing this shit. Like that was the vibe. It's like I gotta get my career shit straight. Like I've done enough touring. Like I got to move on to the next chapter of my life. That was more so the vibe, like leading up to this band happening.
Yeah.
But now it's like I look back, like 23-year-old, like dude, like you're still like a kid.
I see 23-year-olds doing their first tour. Now, and it's like, oh, this is awesome. He's still young, like they're still getting their feet wet with this kind of stuff. It's crazy, but we did really all think that,
Yeah, we were very much on the lane of like Sal at that point was playing Seas Bass Cowboy. I was very much of the mindset of like, when shows come back, I'll just full-time road dog for Vane, like, because I was on like the, touring is my career vibe in the way of like TM merch guy type shit. I was like, I'll just be like a full-time tour guy and that'll be my shit. And like everyone else was just trying to like figure out their respective career paths and whatnot. But we were all of a similar narrative of like too late in the game to start something new here. Too late to start from the ground up. And obviously it's very much not been the case. Thankfully.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're already used to it. Because you're a merch TMing for Bang. For a while.
And I also played. I played in this other band called Typecast, which is more just like heavier hardcore band.
Sick.
Yeah, which we're trying to bring it back in some capacities.
Sick.
Slowly working on it, but it's a heavier band. So I would do a Vane tour, and in the month off that Vane would have, I'd do a Typecast tour. So it's like I was touring like over 200 days a year for like 2 years. So I was nonstop.
That's why you're weird.
Yeah, dude, 100%. It's brain deteriorating shit.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you, dude. Oh my goodness. Whose idea was it to do the acoustic sessions? Like short beat.
I think it was
sessions?
Joey's idea.
Yeah, I think it was
Joey's idea because we were at the time That was, correct me if I'm wrong, that was right after the beach show.
Beach show.
Yeah.
So we did
right
something that, in hindsight was
Something
awesome.
no one would care about now, but at the time would have been very frowned upon.
At the time was super irresponsible. So we
Allegedly.
There were these pop-ups that we would have at Druthers Coffee in Stony Brook, which is a coffee shop run by friends of ours. They actually did a drink for us surrounding the release of Drives Out East, which was so cool.
It was blue.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Druthers is awesome, and they've always held it down for us. And they would let basically, I think it was Lumpy started it, right?
Yeah.
Lumpy
Yeah,
from
it was-
Sanction, Days of the Future Past. Days Style.
Yeah. Days Hardcore. Many
Days
entities.
Hardcore. Lumpy, who runs Days, basically got him to start letting us do pop-ups, and us meaning, just like hardcore kids, and we would sell, distros would set up, and bands would set up merch and whatnot, and
Basically a show without the show type
yeah,
vibe.
exactly. Basically just a giant merch table. And because we were so starved for any sort of interpersonal connections with people, everybody, the whole Northeast would come through. It was crazy. We'd have
People were traveling from Massachusetts, Philly,
we'd have
people-
hundreds of kids.
They were traveling like it was a show.
Yeah,
For these pop-ups.
like it was
Pretty
a
crazy.
fest. It was crazy. And we had a few of them, and at one of them we had the bright idea to be yeah, let's just do a Koyo set on the beach, but on the beach, you gotta we have to write out directions. So I made a flyer that we printed 100 or 200 of, and at the pop-up we just put them on the table and handed them out to people, and basically it had directions on where we were going to play, and we were going to do just an acoustic set, and you had to park it in the Sand Street lot, you had to walk down, and it was we were expected 10, 15 of our friends to show up, and there were a lot.
I think it was
Oh,
over
there were a
100
lot of
people.
people.
There were a
From
lot
the
of fucking
pop-up.
people.
Shocking.
So that spawned this idea to do, all right, well, what if we just played at the beach and recorded it? Maybe there's something there, but I mean,
And for that release, it was re-recordings of Painting Songs acoustic, live, obviously, and
That's
then
sick.
also the demo version of Marich's. We didn't include it on streaming, but if you have the tape that Days put out, or I think it might have been on Bandcamp too, there's an acoustic version of Marich's on there that has some different lyrics. It's a primitive version of the song and whatnot. But even that beach show, mad people came out, but at the time, being sensitive to the time, it was social distance, wear a mask, we were outdoors on the beach. The reality is, at the time, I'm sure if we were wearing it on our sleeve, posting about it, be yo, this is what we're doing, we would have been eaten alive. But hindsight 2020, it's we did it in a way that definitely was very low
safe.
risk and totally safe.
Yeah, and it was
outside on a beach, everyone's has masks on outside on a beach with 6 feet apart from each other. It's everyone's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember we were hesitating about taking off. I don't want to be all meta COVID here,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we can just move past it. But it was fun. It was cool.
All in all, it was okay, and it was dope, and a cool memory, especially given the time.
Shout out playing the cajon one time.
Yeah, it's true. He played a cajon. Because we were what if Sal played drums?
Yeah. Sat on a little one box, did some hand things.
We also-
did
the
little
brush things,
brushes.
little brush things.
We also covered Taking Back Sunday there.
Yeah, it's true. Yes.
It all circles
Didn't we
back
play
to
Straight North?
the Great Romances cover.
We did.
We
do Straight
did.
North.
Holy
We
shit,
did
we
Straight
did play
North
Straight
like
North.
2 years
Yeah,
before it
I
came
think
out.
Joey in the video is this song's gonna come out in 2 years on an LP.
And it did come out 2 years, but not on an
Just
album.
that, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Is there any video of the beach show?
So we had it in a Google Drive somewhere. I don't have it handy.
Yeah,
it was
it's
never
fine.
on YouTube.
No one filmed it.
There's Instagram story videos that
Yeah.
are on all of our
The,
phones, but there's no YouTube video.
I
Yeah,
know
the full videos in
somewhere-
the Google Drive.
Somewhere there's a Google Drive link with an iPhone video of the whole thing.
I have it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I saved it. Yeah.
You gotta upload that shit. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So this idea is kind of an accident. I mean, because when this came on, I was acoustic songs and the way it was recorded is really fucking sick.
Yeah, dude, literally took my dad's camera that I know shot video, my GoPro that I had, and then just whatever mics I had laying around in my house in the interface, and we're we'll just use this Rode.
Didn't James
NT1.
film it?
Yeah, James filmed it. That's
Sick.
true.
Yeah.
James, I think Nicastro helped film it too.
James and Nick
Also,
Castro.
like,
Ridge
super
edited it. Ridge from
yeah.
Life's Question, Pain of Truth edited it.
Oh, wow.
super important detail too. We had such a narrow window of time to do it because we did it at sunset. So we got to run. We ran everything. I think one time.
Our
Yeah.
cars were
Yes,
also
one
illegally
take.
parked.
So
Yes.
it's like the sun. So it's like this is prime time, and then the sun's just going down. So
Laptop
I didn't think
unplugged,
about
losing
that.
battery.
we were literally, yeah.
A
We were
battery,
literally
the
there.
whole thing.
Everyone's there, like, let's go, like, let's keep going.
It was the most DIY effort with a lot of margin for error. Like it totally could have been like just not happened, but it worked out as anyone could see.
And then you put it out.
Yep.
Yep.
And again, it was just a nice way to like kind of like. I feel like we're always looking at like, how do we kind of like. It's not like some like faux effort to stay relevant or something, but just how do we like pacify and give people something tangible while we work on new music and other things, and like leading up to drives, this was our way to just like essentially just give people something to chew on, just be like, hey, like we got that first EP, everyone's locked down right now. Here's like a softer effort on those songs, just something to contrast it and something to occupy some time while we work on the next thing.
How did people react to it?
People liked it. Like people were, I think, psyched on the video session more than the streaming side of it. But I don't think a lot of people I don't think there's a lot of people who are like, yo, I go on Spotify and turn this on. But I think a lot of people watch the full session, and I think it's better suited that way, anyways. Because like
The video
with
is the vibe. It captures everything that's going
you
on.
You get the aesthetic, you get the setting. Like it's just that's what it's all about. It's like the big picture.
It's one of those
is
things
this.
I think we'll look back on in 10 years and really appreciate that we did it.
Totally. I mean, I'm an outsider, and I appreciate this now. Look at the water behind.
Dude, Short Beach, classic.
Wow,
There
that's
used to
so
be-
fucking dope.
It's still there, but it's landlocked now. There's a rock
Really?
at that beach that we would jump off of in this. We go there every like summer. But James was the one that put us onto it, honestly, when we were like, I guess 20 at that point. And we go to this rock. You'd have to swim out a little bit, climb up on the rock, and you could like jump off of it, flip off of it, and the water was deep enough.
Yep.
And then in recent years, like the rock moved up with the sand and it is landlocked now. You can't jump off the rock anymore. It's devastating.
That was so much fun. So you know James a little bit? Like you talk to him sometimes?
Only via text.
Okay, because James is the reason we started like a band in
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
place. Like when we were 12 years old.
The three of us,
we have
Spanos,
known
Harold,
James
and me,
forever.
For a long time.
James
Yeah.
named our first band.
Yeah.
When we were 12, we did like a Battle of the Bands thing at our middle school, and James had just gotten into high school. I think he was in 9th grade at that point, and he played in a thrash band called Rampage.
They were awesome.
I'm sure there's 100 Rampages that are thrash bands in this world, but he played in one of them. And we were literally at like a school meeting, like for the club that did this Battle of the Bands. And the teacher who ran it was like, yo, you guys, I got to announce this soon. Like, you guys need a name. And James literally was like, what about Q-Tip? Like, fucking around. Like,
Make fun of us.
yeah, literally
Q-Tip?
like, yeah. And we were like, yo, great idea. We took it. And James
Yeah.
was like, I can't believe how stupid they are. And
Yeah. And now look at him. You
Yeah.
know? That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny. I love James.
Yeah,
But
now it's crazy. So you went to middle school with James.
yeah.
And at James, so people that are watching, listening, understand what's going on. So James is now a manager, and he manages you, Twin Stab Wounds, Frozen Soul with Unchained, which is the same umbrella as us.
yes, yes.
So yeah, I mean, it's crazy how it's all like connected.
Dude,
Yeah.
it
Small
is
world
crazy.
stuff,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's really insane. He also manages Drain, sang with Sugarbog, like just has like a crazy like roster of bands, and like
Shit.
there was a point like, and not to break his balls or anything, because I love him to death. Like, he's one of our best friends.
Yeah.
But there was a point, in 2016 where James was living at his mom's house in Mastic. And I remember we were chilling in Stony Brook one day, which is about a 30-minute drive, and he asked me for $5 to get home. He had $0. He asked me for $5
You really
if he would
aired
pay
him
me
out.
back.
I just wanted to be like, oh,
That
That's
is
dirty.
because I'm
Start
airing
a
him out
band.
because he's doing so well.
Yes.
That
love
man's
it.
like a homeowner and crushing it, and
Yeah, he's
literally
killing it.
has completely inverted his life. But not that long ago, he asked me for $5 for gas.
Also,
it's pretty crazy.
Ends of Sanity.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
put out
Yeah.
a new EP.
He's down
love
doing
it.
his
Wow.
dopest
Sounds
music
great.
shit ever.
Straight up.
Oh, yeah.
He played in a band called Detriment that like really only was a thing on Long Island and in the Midwest. It was the only places that like the band took. They could play Ohio, and for some reason it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Play Long Island is crazy, but like
Yeah.
that's kind of it. And they toured a lot. Like Detriment toured like crazy. But now he doesn't tour as much. He's just doing management. And Ends of Sanity is probably like the best music he's ever done. It's
that's
like,
awesome.
It's undeniable.
shit.
It's
Listen to
awesome.
that shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Well, shout out James,
Yeah.
Shout out James.
That is our brother for real.
and you're under great care. You know, Unchained was a big
Yeah. factor
in saving our career.
Yo, straight
So,
up.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I've met Kenny and Vaughn a couple times now. They're really nice. Like,
Great.
just
Yep.
good people.
Turn it all around. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
We were fucking financial fucking ruins, and they came in and fixed it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
Shout out.
it's good people there, straight up.
Look at James.
at him.
Handsome man.
Legit.
He's so handsome.
Legitimately very proud of him. He's come up. He's killing it.
So you're so the single came out 2 to 3 weeks ago.
The
Yes.
18th,
You know,
yeah.
how's the reaction been?
Pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah, much
Seeing
better
in
than
real
I thought.
time is unbelievable.
Yeah, now you actually
Yeah.
see what's going on. I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
physically.
we
I'm
put
here,
it out
I'm
day
seeing
one
it.
of tour. So, like,
Oh, it's dope.
literally the first day it came out.
Fuck
and, like,
yeah.
now it's like even like a couple days in, there were people singing, which is pretty crazy. Like, we're talking 3-4 days in, there's people who know, like, the hooks and the choruses. Like, I had a kid come up to me and tell me he, like, basically studied the lyrics, like, on the way to the show. He's like, yo, I wanted to make sure I knew this. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's like our most, in, like, terms of, like, timeline, like, the most, like, quote-unquote successfully streamed,
Yeah.
like, launched song. Like, it's our,
Number
like,
one.
highest, in the shortest amount of time,
Number
highest
one,
streamed.
baby. That's sick.
So far, it's going well. It's pretty awesome. Like, I definitely, I didn't, not that I thought it would do bad or anything, just, it's like everything with this band. It's always a surprise, like, when things do as
It's
well
just
as
sort
they
of
do.
like, oh, we're doing something we want to do, like very like DIY, like just cool, whatever we think is cool, and people liking it like at all is like,
Yeah.
wow,
Then
That's
you
cool.
just can't believe it, like when it's your band.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like people
totally.
like something that you do.
It's
Just
weird.
feels crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, huh?
It's
It's
bizarre.
nuts.
But this in itself, like, dude, like, even just, like, functionally, like, how this whole video came together is, like, we,
just friends of ours.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
just
just
friends of ours, like, hooking
Yeah,
this
I
up.
mean, not to discredit
No,
their
yeah, but
talent,
it
but they're-
really was just
but,
friends helping us out.
Connor and Sam are like some of our best friends. You know, shout out Connor and Sam who did this video, and Dubin and John and fucking the Pasta Shop,
Yeah,
like Tommy
yeah.
and Roy.
There's
like,
so many layers to this video.
It's literally and Regulate, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, these are all just like. We just reached out to different friends of ours and had crazy ideas.
Not that
it
anyone
all
would
worked.
expect. Not that it's like that crazy of a thing to say, but like Connor and Sam aside, who did it on like the basis of whatever budget is left, we'll take, like, no price on this, whatever. Like, no one who helped with this video was paid a fucking dime. They just hooked it up and helped out because they care to help out. You know, like,
Yeah.
which is why it's so appreciated and such a trip to, like, for instance, see it done, let alone have it do well and have people, like, psyched on it or think the video.
Dude, Vlad from Regulate fucking took a bus from Richmond.
Yeah, just to be
there,
in this
just
video.
to be in the video, just to,
Wow.
to hang out with us for like 8 hours.
The
you know?
Pasta Shop fully catered the video too,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
it's an
yeah.
amazing
They
restaurant.
let us use the restaurant for an entire day.
Well, on the
Like,
day
Yeah.
they're closed, like we came in on a Monday because they're closed. I think
They're
Sundays
supposed to,
and
they
Mondays.
do like prep
They
days,
close Monday.
and
Yeah.
they let us use the restaurant the entire day. Like they were working in some of like the like behind the counter in some of the shots.
and they cooked a shit ton of food for us.
Frank
And just-
Iero from My
Yeah,
Chem
dude.
and LS
Yeah.
Dunes, like
He was
gave
awesome.
us his afternoon just to hang out.
He,
and,
he
like,
lives near there. Like
Yeah.
he was like just down to do it, and like we didn't. Again, like this is another case of like we didn't even have to like pry or be like, yo,
No, he
like,
was psyched. It
yeah,
was
he was like,
awesome.
yo, just let me know time to come and I'll roll through, and he did. It's just like, you know, I will always. There's so many layers of this. It transcends just this video, but there's so much with this band and people just like looking out for us. Where it's like I'm eternally
We feel blessed.
grateful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's
very,
crazy.
very lucky.
A lot of people looking out for us like on their own volition, you know, like when there's so many times where people help us out or look out for us or try and put on for us and we're not asking. So like just try and make good on it in whatever ways we can.
And,
you know?
yeah, especially like I think of everybody who like was involved in this video is like seriously a day one. So like all of
Yeah.
Regulate and like Connor and Sam and like even Dubin have all been like such a huge part of Koyo since we started. You know,
Yeah.
like people who believe in us and like love us and
We're surrounded by a lot of very good people.
yeah.
Dude, even this No Pressure tour we're on, it's like when Koyo put out our first thing, Harry was like a big, like from No Pressure, like a big proponent of like, yo, like I love this, I'm psyched on this, whatever. Then No Pressure put out their first thing, and obviously we felt the same. And like from day one, it was like, yo, we're gonna play shows together. No Pressure's not supposed to necessarily be a touring band, but we did their first They did like a weekend of West Coast shows and a weekend of East Coast shows. We played their first East Coast shows together. And when we did that, it was like, there will be a tour.
Played a legendary baseball game that weekend also. Just worth noting.
Spanos was the MVP
Spanos
of that
was
game.
The MVP. But I did win the game with Pat.
No, you didn't.
I turned a double play to win the game to Pat from No Pressure at first base. Just saying. But
What
Spanos
was it, like
the MVP.
17-16?
Yeah, 9-on-9 baseball game with an umpire and with catchers and everything. We went hard. It was great. Yeah, we had a great time. Just worth noting.
That and the shows were just unbelievable.
And
Like,
just set
the
us
Gold
up for
Sound
what's
show.
happening right now. Like, it was like, I think everyone walked away from that weekend going, yo, at some point, No Pressure's got to do a full U.S., even if it's the only tour they ever do, and we have to do it with them. We need to just celebrate what our friends are doing.
We need to do more.
Damn. That's what's
Yeah.
up. So the single that just came out, is that going to be a part of the record that's coming out in a few months from now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is. All the music coming out up to throughout this summer is all, like, singles from the record. We have 3 more singles lined up that are going to be rolling out. The record comes out September 29th.
On Pure Noise?
Yes,
Shout
Pure
out.
Noise, which is fucking dope. But even the last couple singles we did prior, like 10 Digits, Straight North, Call It Off, those were intended to be singles with, like, just getting more stuff out in mind. You know, just getting, like, for lack of a better way to put it, just getting some stuff off our chest, just getting some new music out leading up to, like, all the touring we did last year. And we just kind of built this new record as one thing and kind of put those singles as another. And I just mentioned that because, like, a lot of people don't know that until I tell them. All the time, like, people are like, yo, it's 10 Digits on the record. It's like, no, 11 new songs. 10 Digits is just its own thing. Same
own
with Straight
thing.
North, same with
Yep.
Call It Off.
Yeah,
Separate ideas.
Yeah, it was like it was 3 songs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like the Pure Noise signing debut. Because that was the other thing, too. We're doing a new label. It's like we want to, like, come out with more than just here's a signing announcement and then a record
Yeah.
2 years later. We wanted something of substance, you know?
Yeah. That song Call It Off is fucking sick.
Thank you.
If
Thank
you
you.
if you have like a orchestra sound, you know it's deep. It's sick. I'm like, did someone die or break up or something? What was this? Something?
Like that was that song was like a real, like, Harold driven track. Like all the orchestral stuff, that's like all like Harold vibes, you know. In terms of, like, we had a song on the Drives Out East EP called The World We Claim. Same deal, like implicating strings and that, like, extra, like, drama and whatnot.
Yep.
Like that's all Harold brainchild type stuff.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing,
Thank you.
man.
That song
appreciate
kind
it.
of sits as like a dark horse in the discography currently, but funny enough, I was just a couple nights ago talking to a friend of mine, Nathaniel, who plays in like a rap group called Injury Reserve, and we toured Japan together, and he made a great point in being like, yo, like stuff like that is only weird until it's not. It's only dark horses until it's not, because like every couple releases you just do a single here, a single there, like something out the box. It's like your fans start to perceive it as a part of the canon, not just the out of the box single. So like we have no plans to do a song explicitly like Call It Off anytime soon. Like there's nothing on the record that sounds like Call It Off, but it's like another track or two like that, another effort or two outside the box, and like suddenly it's all under the same umbrella. Like it's perceived as such. Because I think Call It Off was perceived as a dark horse.
Yeah.
Like I think it was received as such,
Yeah.
but it might not age that way, you know?
Never know. Yeah, I mean, the way like you kind of set up like your music and body of work in such a way. Okay, so you have the first release, people love it. Then you have like the beach sessions. Then you have like the Drives Out East that hits, and then you have the Call It Off. And it's like it's really interesting what you guys been doing.
Appreciate
Great,
it, man.
yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I never really seen it before. It's dope. you know?
It's cool to see it all generally unfold the way we want to. Like, so far, like, our release windows and, like, the rate in which we're putting stuff out, it's all, like, we're in the driver's seat on that. It's been a very, like, a lot of what the band does is very internally driven. And we have a great team and a great, between the label, James, Brad, like, we have great people supporting our efforts. But, like, Koyo is, like, it's a very internally full-service band. Like, we operate a lot of our band ourselves, both in terms of vision, planning, art, music. Like, we kind of steer the ship, and everyone just helps make it happen, you know?
Sick. Well, I know you guys got to get out to L.A. We're an hour and 20 in.
Yeah,
But,
shit. Dude, time fucking flies, man.
Yeah. Jeez.
Flew by. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for making a drive and allowing me to be a part of your journey.
Dude, yeah,
Oh,
for
thank
sure.
you.
Yo,
Thank you for having us,
It was
man.
an
Thank you
honor.
for having us, dude.
I'm honored.
True.
I'm honored.
Yo,
It's a lot of fun.
it wasn't mentioned yet, but
We
just
love
know we
Suicide
put big
Silence.
respect on Suicide
Yeah,
Silence.
we
Oh,
do.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
I think I went to my
Appreciate
first
that.
Warped Tour to see Suicide Silence.
Yeah, Warped Tour
specifically.
2010. That set was
Yeah.
like
Wow.
No, that was
Shit, my
that was
goodness.
a big band for us as kids.
big,
So,
big
thank you.
Suicide Silence respect.
Yeah.
So it's very appreciated, for
that.
real.
Appreciate that. And you got, you guys taught me something. I don't know. I was talking with Zach earlier. I'm like, I don't know. Like this past few days have been really interesting for me personally because obviously this is mostly all of the bands on here like more on like the heavier side.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to just like a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
It was
Oh,
cool,
nice.
and then you introduced me to like a whole other like a scene of bands like a Fleshwater. I was like, I'm really curious how people are going to react to this podcast. I really don't know.
dude,
Yeah.
that's dope. Though. I'm psyched about it.
So thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for going on this risk journey. I'm
Dude.
curious how people are going to react to it. I hope it's good because I want to start talking of Fleshwaters.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I know pressures and kind of explore a whole other like genre.
Dude,
You know,
if that
that'd be
ends
cool.
up happening, dope to be a piece
sure.
of that.
The
Appreciate the
catalyst,
opportunity,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's dope.
Seriously.
So where can people find you guys?
All social media, all streaming platforms, it's all everywhere. It's at Koyo LAHC on all social media. If you go Spotify, Apple Music, you just type in Koyo. We're the first one. We're the one.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
D1.
That's right.
Yeah.
Took a little while, but that's right.
Yeah. If the algorithm does what it does, if you look us up, easy to find. We got a new record coming out September 29th on Paranoid. It's called Would You Miss It? Pre-orders are up. All the limited vinyls almost sold out. So if you listen to this and fuck with it, when you check out the music, cop a record because, that shit goes a long way.
Sick. Appreciate you guys. All right, everyone. That's it. Later.